Life takes care of life, and none of it is your business. Life takes care of life. What utter nonsense. Have you watched a lion hunt a deer? It lurks in the background, looking for the weakest or the youngest of the herd, crawling to ensure it's done its math well, then swiftly aims for the kill. It doesn't just target the prey and eats the prey, it sinks its teeth into the neck while waiting for the animal to suffocate. Oh, wait, what about wasps that lay their eggs in the actual bodies of living caterpillars? Or dolphins, as cute as they are, they kill other creatures just for the fun of killing, not even for food, for heaven's sake. I even heard about wilder beasts. In severe dry seasons, they just collapse on the spot and die while vultures swoop in to grab a free meal. Okay, so we're going to make an argument about how these are, lower animals. Have you watched a mother lose her child? What kind of life is that? Looking at the predicament from this perspective, we may be forced to, or maybe invited to reimagine what it is that constitutes life. Perhaps there's an opportunity to see that benevolence and brutality are two movements of the same dance. But hey, what does this have to do with anything? You see, the brutality we talk about in the way brutality shows up in life seems to be the answered prayer to the benevolence that's at the flipped end of this transaction. The brutal lion in my previous example is provided for in the expense of the weak deer. The dolphins, their psychopathic nature is pleasure for it and disaster for the porpoise. The wild beast's demise is the answered prayer for the vulture. About the mother who loses her child, well, that demands a different answer. But then again, what if life, taking care of life, is in the context of the whole coin and not one half or the other? An attempt to see that life itself is an undivided whole may be the answer. Then we may see that the whole would move in the interest of itself. But what would that look like? Could that be love? Hold on for a second. Let me tell you about my own experiences and how I see life lifing. You see, whenever I resist life, whenever I forget how incredibly obvious this understanding of life's wholeness is, it is undeniable that the character of me jumps into the scene of this screen on this screen of awareness, excited, and you can read that as anxious, to change the shape of life. At these times, one thing is evident. It's that I find myself grasping, clutching at the edges of this me identity that feels threatened by uncertainty, as if there were ever any certainty to begin with. The me then rises up to protect through its mechanism of projection into the future and interpretation of the past. Clearly, when we see this, it's not life that I'm defending, it's the mind's idea of control. The more I cling, the more fragile that idea becomes. The ego thrives on the illusion that it keeps life itself. The ego has yet to see that life has always kept itself together. The heart beats, the body heals. Trees shed and bloom again without consulting a calendar. Hurricane season happens all by itself during the last months of the year. The sun shines and the earth rotates. None of this. My or your handiwork. You see, my friend, we call it trust when we align with that rhythm, with that understanding, but really, it's remembering what has always been true. Obviously, when I investigate my fears, I find that they are rooted in distrust. I don't trust life to flow without my supervision. I worry that if I let go of things, then they will fall apart. When I, in the throes of grace, look closely, I see that things fall apart anyway. And yet, somehow, something, or better put, something deeper remains untouched. So does this mean that life will always go my way if I surrender? Nope, not at all. Surrender is not a bargain with the universe. It is a recognition that who I am is not the one grasping for outcomes, but the awareness in which all outcomes arise and dissolve. When I suffer, I'm back in the small self, the one that insists on being the manager of reality. When I rest as life itself, the distinction between caretaker and cared for fades. There's no split left to maintain. Life is taking care of itself because there was never anything else here. Life is not something happening to you, it is what you are. Life is. It only is. It's the only thing that does exist. Life is. There's only one life. There's only life. There's only God. It is it that animates the world. It is it that takes on shape as the multiplicities of appearances. And so look closely. The same life that moves the planet turns the tide in your chest. The same force that paints the sky at dusk breathes through you right now. And it's easy to forget. It's so easy to forget. Which is why the invitation is simple. It's relax. First in the body, then in the mind. Then let the whole world rest with you as you. I know, in as much as these words are phrased the way they're phrased, I believe they're the most practical expressions of this. When the grasping softens, what is left present is presence. We start to see everything as it is, alive, sufficient, already cared for. Life takes care of life, always has, always will, and none of it is your business.